All right, White Sox fans, welcome to Ladies' Night. This is our 24th episode, which is super exciting. I'm your host, Melissa Sage-Bollenbach, podcaster on Sox Populi and writer and editor at Southside Sox. I'm super excited to have a very special guest with us today. Tania Farries, whom you might know as Chi-Town Tania on X or formerly Twitter. I'm really grateful to Tania for agreeing to share her fandom journey with us today and discuss various topics regarding our beloved White Sox. So welcome, Tania, to Ladies' Night.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so we're just going to jump right in because I want to learn all about your White Sox fandom. So first of all, how did you become a White Sox fan?
So I actually was a fan in the 80s. Growing up in Pittsburgh, I chose two teams, and mainly it was because of Ozzy and watching him. So I was actually a fan in the 80s. But when I decided to move to Chicago, I knew that this was going to be the team that I was going to follow. There wasn't even a question. Again, growing up in Pittsburgh and growing up a Pirates fan, there wasn't even going to be a question. I was not going to root for the Cubs. I'd never root for the Cubs. And so I just fell right back into it. In 2005, course, watching the World Series from far, living in DC, was incredible. So just knowing, whenever I would come to visit Chicago, even before I moved here, I would always make sure that I would attend a Sox game. And I think that was priority number one my first summer when I was there, when I moved to Chicago, was starting to go to the games and just experiencing that, because I knew that I was a community that I wanted to be a part of. I didn't expect this, to be honest.
Well, first of all, you do not look old enough to have been a fan in the 80s. I have to say that.
Oh, my goodness.
You just don't.
Thanks.
Yeah, I was a fan in the 80s, too. You could see that I was a fan in the 80s. You did not.
No, absolutely not.
But so living in Pittsburgh, how did the White Sox get on your radar, though? You just saw highlights of Ozzy, or how did it get on your radar?
Ozzy. We watched a lot of baseball in my house. I mean,
Okay.
I was not a football fan. I was baseball and hockey. So there were games on in the summer, I was watching them. Whether they were, the featured games of the week, I would watch because we could get WGN. And so I was able to watch, the Cubs when they were on. But I mean, it was really just any baseball that I could see. And the Sox were on fairly a good amount. And I think because of Ozzy, and then later it was because, of course, Michael Jordan and Ken Griffey Jr. and other players that were on just later, on down the line. But yeah, for whatever reason, we got to see a lot of, or a fair amount of Sox games. And I know that Ozzy probably had a lot to do with it, because he was just such a prolific character, even, back then. And so that had always stuck with me, because I was always a fan of characters on the field, to be honest. So that was just, he was just kind of like my kind of player, says whatever he wants, what, he thinks, and is just going to, but he's going to get out there and he's going to play. And you can see his passion for the game. And so that was, it was a natural draw for me, and still has been. And I finally got a chance to meet him this year, and I was so excited. I was so excited. It was very brief, but it was an absolute thrill. I mean, it was, it was a CHSN suite, and he was walking by, and I just had to grab him and take a quick picture. But I was so frustrated because he's Ozzy. Yeah. He's Ozzy.
Right. Well, when you meet your childhood, heroes and stuff in person, you're just oh my gosh, I just don't even know what to say. I've always dreamt of being able to do this. And so when you finally do, you're just you're in awe. It's so cool.
Exactly. Especially, like you said, just so many years of watching and cheering and, and admiring. I mean, even I keep going back to living in DC and watching that year, really 2022 or 2005, just with a friend of mine, and how much we adored, and how every day we would talk about Ozzy. That was kind of our, and he's had rejected the Pirates as well by the time he got to DC. So we had that in common. And but he was a Red Sox fan, and but adored Ozzy. And like even now, we still text about because we follow hockey together, and we still text about. He's like, oh yeah, I see your boy Ozzy is doing this, or when I sent him the picture of me and Ozzy, he freaked out for me because he was just like, I can't believe it. So it's just that he's had that kind of impact on me and my baseball fandom really since the beginning. So yeah, now I get to see him at nightly on the post-game show.
So did you as a young girl, did you play softball, or did you have any baseball people in your family that kind of ignited your passion?
Oh yeah, I played baseball. My brother played baseball. My brother actually could have, if he'd stuck with it and not gone the track route. He was starting to get looked at by some major programs. But I also played baseball for quite a while, and then around high school I fell off. But I played with local leagues within the city of Pittsburgh. But then also just having my mom is the number one fan of every sport that we have, honestly. Especially in Pittsburgh, she is diehard everything. And because of her, I would say, and just growing up in the household, first of all, there wasn't a choice of what was going to be on the TV. If the game was on, the game was going to be on. So there wasn't really much of a choice of what you were going to watch, or unless maybe if you went to another room, but that was few and far between. The game was going to be on. And so with that, and watching with her, it was just a natural inclination. So when I moved to DC, not having a local team was terrible. And then the Nationals were also terrible, but no. I supported when the Nationals came because I was excited to finally have baseball that I could get on the train and go to with, Baltimore, because I would go see Baltimore as often as I could, but there's not a direct train line between DC and Baltimore. They say there is, but there isn't. It's not as easy as, we believe. It's not like Metro. And so for that, it was such it was a tougher ticket or tougher trip to take. But when, the Nationals came, I thought finally I can see, the teams that I want to see here, and, and just get on the train. And it was awesome. And so of course, when I knew I was moving to Chicago, that was part of my thought process, was to move close to whatever line so that I would be able to get to and from the games as quickly as possible. That was honestly among my strategic thinking.
Yeah, in DC, my daughter lives in Arlington, so it's set up really nicely in terms of being able to get to the stadium and the area around it. It is really a nice. I really wish we had something like that for our fans.
I hope that is coming soon. It's well overdue, honestly, with the way the fans support the team and come out before the games. I think it's long overdue to have something like that as a way for everyone to convene and to really create that sense of community. I mean, we already have it in the parking lot, and I don't mean to take away from that in any means, but I think we could have some other, like the shipping container ideas that they have, other things that are around that national park area that really kind of enhances the area for fans and keeps people in the area, as opposed to now where it's, you drive in and you park and party and then you leave. That, the neighborhood should be celebrated more. Bridgeport should be celebrated more.
Especially with as long as we've been a part of that neighborhood, I mean, we've been there for 125 years. So it's like, let's celebrate being a part of that community. So
Exactly. And keeping things like those shipping container, and I only use that because they're quick to put up and, on property or on land very quickly. But keeping that, kind of idea and having them open seasonally will keep people in the area, before and after games. So it's not just a mad rush, to the train station at the end of the games. And again, building more community and fandom, I think. But what do I know? I'm just a fan.
No, we're just fans who consume the product. What do we know?
Exactly.
Okay, so I know that you love Ozzy. You're a big Ozzy fan, but other than him, Who would you say is your all-time favorite White Sox player?
Oh man, I want to say Harold Baines is definitely up there. I mean, I just admire him for who he is and what he's been through. Um, of course, Mark Burley,
Yeah.
A.J. Przinsky. I'm going to start naming pretty much everyone on that 2005 team for the most part. Because I just watched so much of it that's really the only thing I can think of. Everyone's name is going to be from that team. But I would say probably Burley would be the next one after that. The just watching him pitch was so incredible, and then getting to meet him was amazing, and something I never thought would happen in a million years, and it happened. So I can say I can knock that one off the list, as he is absolutely. I would say my favorite pitcher is Doug Drabek, but Burley's probably number 2 on that list, as far as my favorite pitcher. So it's pretty high on the list, as I have pretty high regard for him. And yeah, I mean, getting to meet him in person and see him was pretty cool. And then being able to see him get honored, I mean, was just even more special. So, yeah, I would say that'd be my answer.
Well, he's such a humble guy, and I think that those of us who are fans of the White Sox were very, I don't know, it's just like down to earth people. And so like Mark Burley just like fits right into that, like that feeling that we have, like the community that we have of everybody just being kind of salt of the earth people. And Mark, I mean, that's him, right?
100%, 100%. That's exactly right. And that really captures the essence and what my appeal is, not only to that team, but then to him as a player, just like you stated. It really is, he really embodies that. And coming from a blue collar town, that's something that I'm very proud to be a part of, and something that I try to embody in my own personal self, and exude. So whenever I see someone that I can align with, I'm going to absolutely be in love with them. And he is definitely one of those people. And soft-spoken for as tall of a man as he is. I'm sure he can get pretty riled up, but he's pretty soft-spoken.
Yeah.
I think.
So humble. So
yes.
humble.
Yes.
Well, you mentioned Harold too, and Harold has that same type of characteristic, right? He's like, Harold was just like a hardworking, like lay it all on the field, but like so humble about like how good he was, and like I mean, I remember I cried when we traded Harold Baines. I was like, he's my favorite player. What are you doing?
I've heard that so many times that every time I mention him, someone says, like, well, the next thing they say is, "Oh my God, I just remember how heartbroken I was when I got the news."
Yep.
Like it was, yeah. I mean, he's, and then you meet him now, and he's the same humble, soft, same thing. Like I've had the privilege to meet him as well now, and it's incredible, yeah, just to see how how he is as a person and in real life, because not everyone is as they appear to be. So. Good, we find the good ones.
Mark and Harold are 100% the people that you think they are. Like you meet them, and you're like, yes,
Yes.
you're exactly how I thought you were going to be.
Exactly.
That's really special. That's really special for fans, I think. Okay, so since you watched the Pirates and you watched a lot of baseball, who would you say is your favorite non-White Sox player?
Oh, again, a tough one to say, just one. Well, like I said, Doug Drabek is my favorite pitcher of all time. So but unfortunately he went to Houston after a period of time, so I don't really, yeah, Doug Drabek. So that I just realized I'm going to say that about a lot of Pirates. A lot of Pirates got traded. That's why we were the farm team. So Mike LaValliere, the catcher for the Pirates in the early 90s, was one of my all-time favorite. Spanky is his nickname. I never liked Barry Bonds, so that was easy when he was gone. I mean, I understood what we were losing, but I never liked his attitude, so it was good riddance for that one. Orlando Merced, who was the first baseman for a while. I really had like I wouldn't say crush, cause I'd like I would say baseball crush, because I have to be careful whenever I say that, because as women it's always, oh, you have a crush on, no, I have a crush on the way he plays, it's a baseball thing, it's all purely sports related. So yeah, I had him, and I would say Don Slott was another one of my absolute faves from those pirate teams. I mean, growing up, that was the great thing about being able to see so many different games, is that I got to see like the Big Hurt, of course. I got to see or as we all watched, of course, the McGuire, Sammy Sosa, which I would not say either one of those were my favorites. But we, got to watch a lot of that baseball, and the Braves. So many great teams and so many great players that were getting traded around that it's tough. But I know that Pirate team, I mean, the reason why I had to break up with the Pirates, because that's really what I call it, is because that team broke my heart. I mean, it was the first time I really truly understood a loss, and was just devastated from it. And so that, and then of course watching them not pour money or effort into the team was painful. She said, hint, hint. So yeah, after a while, it's like, how much torture can I take at this point? How much of the farm team can I, really give my heart and soul into? And that's what truly, what ended up being. And then of course, moving closer to the White Sox, I was like, well, this is just an easy decision now, because I hadn't been in love with the product that the Pirates had put forth for many years. So there wasn't really, I had players that I liked, but there wasn't anyone that I don't even think I knew the roster, which was insane, because I mean, like, I could probably have named the 1992 roster. That's not Pirates. Just now, if I had a moment to sit and really think about it, my position. I mean, that's just how ingrained I was into. And when you're watching these guys every day, their names. You're like, oh, Vargas is in today. Oh, Teal's in today. Like, you know who they are. And so, with that, not, the fact that I didn't have that connection to the team made it really easy to just, say, hey, I don't have to pay for MLB Network anymore, so I can see home and away games, because I live out of network. It's easy, expense to drop, because I don't need it anymore. So now I have the White Sox to break my heart.
Well, that's, I was going to say, no, that'll be the perfect transition. And after I take a quick break into my next question, you did wonderfully. So hang on, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Thanks.
Okay, we're back. See, it was fast.
All right.
So how have you survived these last couple of years as a White Sox fan? Because it has not been easy to do. So how have you survived and gotten through?
I think I was very fortunate that we had a little blip of a playoff run a couple of years ago before, everything shut down. And so that little promise of a new day held me on, because I hadn't had that so long with the Pirates. And then, last year was tough. Last year it just became kind of a misery loves company situation. It was really about commiserating with the fans that I had now grown to, the family fans that I've grown, that I've now grown a part of. So commiserating together was amazing. And then this year, when they were introducing the players and, we were going through spring training, I really had, an idea that these kids could do something. Them being young and not really having the lowest bar expectations, that's kind of the sky's the limit. And, I feel like when you get hitters and you get them on a little bit of a streak, they can really encourage other people in the lineup to, start swinging, and there can be a different energy, and that's sometimes all you need. And I think we're actually seeing that, which I'm happy that it's coming to fruition. because it just gets me more excited for what they can be. I mean, I feel like they need that synergy. They need to become a cohesive team, and that's not going to happen overnight, but it's fun to watch them do it now. And it's fun to watch them grow into their roles in this team and to figure out, who's going to be playing where and how they fit. It's just been things that Tomlin being like at the top of the lineup, just like after Benintendi was there for wrongfully for so many years, and then Tomlin comes in, and now he's great as the leadoff. I mean, I love seeing him up there. So, and he's producing, and Benintendi now is producing with some of that weight off his shoulder. I mean, these kids are giving a little bit of energy to the team, and that's exactly what I was hoping for. So it's great to see it play out, and I hope it continues, and I hope that we only build on it and don't mess with it. No, not too much tinkering, and really develop some of the players that we have, in the system down in AAA in Charlotte that are working on their game. So it'll be fun to see those guys come back and see what they can do, because I think they've got, our pitching staff also has a chance to be real beasts. I think they could be menaces for sure. For sure.
Well, hope can get us far, I mean, I think finally, everything you've described is hopeful, right? You can kind of see the light, at the end of the tunnel. You can look forward and feel like, okay, I can kind of start to see the plan, falling into place. And I think that gives us hope. And then now we are more open to the possibilities and not being so drowned in our misery like we were for a couple of seasons.
Exactly. And when you see them put it on a performance like what they did in Atlanta, where they just, that's just so much offense after so many years of suffering in games where there was just barely any 1 or 2 runs. I mean, it was just terrible to watch. And then even watching them get better and improve in errors. I mean, over the last couple of games, they've even, matured in that way too. It's kind of like, I don't have kids, but I feel like, it's watching the kids grow up and, become professional ball players. It's just, it's refreshing to see. And I'm enjoying watching it, because if you can't be guaranteed that you're going to win every game and you're going to have something to look forward to, how about kids hustling and playing good baseball? And, getting out there and shocking some people, because that's also been fun to see. Because I'm sure a lot of those teams thought, not quite easy out, but we came in there and those young boys were slinging, and they looked raking, and it looked good. Well, let the league know we're coming.
they're so watchable. Like that's kind of the thing I feel like is like I can sit down and I can feel like, okay, like I can see maybe a pretty solid baseball game. And it hadn't been that way for a couple of years. And so with the young, hustling, fun, energetic, and just watchable team, you're like, okay, I can do this now. I can do this.
Yeah, and I don't cry in this 8th innings anymore. Like, I actually get myself down by one run. It's not the insurmountable lead. I'm like, we still have a chance. We might actually win this thing. We probably will in most cases. I kind of am erring more on the side of optimism these days, which is refreshing for me and a change. So, hopefully that, again, the good thing is now they don't have expectations, so they can't really break my heart at this moment. But,
True.
As with every team, there's always a chance.
Who is your favorite young guy? Who's the one you look forward to watching the most right now?
Oh, that's a good. Well, at that, Talman. I mean, I brought him up. I love him at the leadoff. So I love whenever he comes. I just think it comes up to bat. I just think it's usually something that's special. I love Chase Meredith because of the fact that he's fearless on the bases. And so I love to watch him because that stolen base that he did earlier, I think it was either just after the All-Star break or just before the All-Star break, where he pulled up before he could get the tag. Yeah. Incredible. I just think he's just so athletic. So really enjoy watching him play. I've been enjoying watching Luis Robert hustle. Yeah. I've been enjoying watching Luis Robert get his mojo back. That's been a lot of fun. And I'm really trying to decide, because of course I'm thinking now, I want a jersey, but I can't decide whose jersey I want. So I'm trying to figure out who is my favorite, but I'm really thinking it might be between Vargas and Kyle Teal. I'm not sure. And I know I've led off with Tillman, so you're like, why not Tillman? And I don't know, because I make no sense. That's the answer. So it might be a catcher thing. I'm not sure. I cannot answer this question. I just know that this is where my mind is leaning towards right now, and I reserve the right to change that at any point.
Yeah, well, and it's a good thing when you have like a plethora to pick from, right? I mean, there are quite a few young guys who are that have that potential to be really exciting, if not all-star type of people. So I think you can't go wrong. Whoever you pick, it's going to be good. It's gonna be good.
Oh, and I forgot my boy Montgomery, because we took a picture together and he made me White Sox famous for a moment. Not White Sox famous.
Oh.
What was it? Sox Fest famous for a moment. Yeah, that picture. So also my boy Colson. I'm sorry, Colson. Please don't do that. I need him to do more TikTok videos, because he's funny. So I'm encouraging him.
He is a sweetheart. He was just, I met him at Sox Fest too. He was such a sweetheart. So big fan.
This is your request, Colson. Give us content.
Yes, please.
We're begging for it.
Well, I have one more question to wrap it up for you. So,
sure.
How many wins do you think we end up with this season? And do you think we have the potential to be competitive as early as next season?
I'm going to answer the first one and say that I'm going to push the number, because as quoted in the Trib, yes, I believe it's in the Trib, I had initially said that it was going to be that we were going to have 60 wins this year. And I know that's not that at the time it seemed pie in the sky to say that in January, but I've been saying it since the beginning of this year. But I'm going to raise it, because again, these kids they're raking. So I'm 170. I feel like I think that they got September. I think they got something going. I think that they're going to surprise some teams, and I think that I think there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to try to take it easy, think, oh, we got playoffs, or oh, we got a soft team coming in, and these kids are gonna start putting it together. And to that point, I think if they can keep the mojo going and keep the whatever camaraderie they have in the off season, I absolutely believe that they can come out just killing it in April and May of next year, because that is, I think, the key to this. I think that right now, you have the momentum, and we're going into the off season, and then it gets cold, and you pull away from each other. But if they can, and it doesn't necessarily always have to come with practice, but just really keeping in touch with each other and building that kind of team mentality and getting to know each other, I think that translates on the field so well and so incredibly. And I think that will help, and they can only talk to each other and make each other better. I mean, that's a part of it. And if you want to grow as a team and win as a young team, I think that's what you got to do. So that's my hope, and I believe that they are the kids to do it. So I'm looking forward to next season and seeing a lot of really good baseball, and definitely seeing a lot of dingers. I'm really looking forward to that, because they feel great for that. I mean, when they're at home, it's great for that, and they can send somewhere towards the 108. Will be great. I'll take them.
I love your optimism. I had them at 48 wins in our predictions, and obviously I'm 48 is low. They're gonna pass that, but I would say 55. So I hope they blow mine out of the water and they are near yours, because I think that would be fantastic, and then they certainly could be competitive in 2026 for sure.
I think we got a few sweeps left in us, honestly. We had some surprise sweeps last month, and this month. I think we've got a few left in us that'll help bolster our numbers. It's going to be a tough one, but like I said, I think even with the Yankees coming in, and I know that the Yankees are coming in this weekend, even with that, I'm still sticking to the 70. I got it. If I pushed it to 60, and they're out blowing me out the water already. I gotta go big or go home. That's the way I gotta do it.
Well, the Yankees haven't been doing that great lately either, so maybe it's a perfect time for our young guys to pounce on those Yankees and be like, sorry, Yankees.
Sorry, not sorry. Play to win the game. And then next week you'll be thinking, wow, that Tania, she was right.
That's
She
right.
did. This team went here on their way to 70.
These are good luck charm.
Exactly. I wish I could speak that into existence because I would continue. I'd be like, next year I'd be like, 120. We got this.
Yep. I'm just gonna have you on like once a month so you can like keep the hype train going for them. That would be great.
Exactly. Come on, guys, I believe in you.
Well,
I'll do it.
It's been so much fun, and I've loved learning about your fandom and your passion for the game. It just radiates from you, whether it's in person or on video, or if fans have the opportunity to meet you in person. You're just so much fun, and you're definitely a shining star in our White Sox community. So thank you so much for coming on. It's been a real pleasure. So.
Thank you so much for the invite. I have never done anything like this. This was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Well, you're such a natural at it. So yeah, we'll definitely do it again next season, and we'll revisit everything. So
absolutely.
All right. That is
all
it
right.
for ladies. That is it for Ladies' Night. So we will see you guys all back again next time.